Well, Zafran, thank you for joining me for afternoon tea and, giving up your time to join us. So, what was your childhood like?
First of all, Karen, thank you very much for allowing me to come and spend the afternoon and having the tea party with you guys. My childhood was a really good one, actually. When you're young as a kid, everything is just nothing but fun. So I came from a family of my siblings. We were seven of us in the family. So three brothers, and then four sisters, and I'm the youngest one in the family. And I've got at the four sisters a young sister than me. So the younger sister and me were the sort of very close ones because there's only 5 years difference between us, but the rest was quite older. So she was more sort of my sister where I can share about anything, talk to about anything. So yeah, we had good upbringing, through our parents, and coming from second generation, which everybody knows that the fact that it's all about respect, love, and it doesn't matter who they are, who older they are, you respect. So so it was more of that. And yeah, we came in an area where we lived in. I was born and bred in Erdington, in Birmingham, and yeah, a nice mixed, community where everybody just got on well. So the childhood was really, really good. Um, it's just all about just playing, playing, and playing.
Mhm. Good. And did you enjoy school?
I enjoyed school a lot because I was involved with after school activities. So I used to look forward to going to school, even when I was ill at times or feeling sick, but still wanted to, I still never missed school throughout the journey. Actually, from school, secondary school, and then college as well. I just loved it. Just loved
Mhm.
being there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you have any problems at school?
No, I didn't have sort of no problems. Got on with everybody. I had a lot of friends. Again, in those days, teachers were more like your parents than of today. So they look up to you. So if you did anything, they'll give you advice where they'll say, what you're doing this, but if you put this together now, in future, you won't regret it, or otherwise in future you will regret it.
Mm.
So the school was really good for me. Really enjoyed every minute. And some of the teachers, of throughout my years that have passed away. Some are still I'm in touch with, and it's great, when you have that sort of bond still coming. And some of the success, as I'll explain through, yeah, I can say, yeah, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here where I am. So they were like my mentors.
Good, good. So, you went on to obviously college. What happened after college? Did you go to university or did
When I
you?
went to the college, I went to study sales and marketing. So I did a business and finance.
Mhm.
It was a GMQ equivalent to to A levels. So it was a 2 years. And it was all around business and finance. You had marketing, because sales and marketing is something that I had a passion for at a very young age that I wanted to get into. So I did my college, but then whilst I was at college, I then got myself a sales job. So when I was working in sales and studying, and then when I applied for university, I got, in those days, I mean, you did a UCAS, I'm talking 94 now, and you'd get 6 unconditional offers. So I had some beautiful offers of the university, but at that point I decided that I am not going to go any further. um, it wasn't my father and mum, they didn't take it,
Mm.
very lightly, because all my brothers and sisters all graduated, did well in education. And I was the only one who says, right, okay, I'm happy with everything. I'm working, I'm earning good money. I can see a huge of success. I can see a light in the tunnel where I'm going to go. Made my mind up, I'm happy with that, but I'm not going to go to college. But my father at that time got a bit upset. He says, all right, okay, that's fine. You don't want to go, but you're working. If you carry on working, and go to university, then what will happen is, you won't regret it. It gives you more skills. But at the time, you're 18, 19, okay, I was earning good money, and I thought to myself, you know what? I don't know what you had about that, but I'm happy. I know where my career is going. I don't want to go, uni, because I know myself. I'll probably go and not pursue what I want to pursue, and I might end up, regretting it. But I'm not gonna, take it, from there. So it didn't go well then, but then later on, as I, progressed through, my father was, well, at the end of the day, you've made your mind. I mean, just to take a bit back, I mean, in those days, what happened was with the Asian families, sometimes um, it was more of education, which I say is the best gift that anybody can give, either to their, children or to their niece or nephews by sporting. But it was more of, for some family, it was more of a pressure. Like, if somebody wanted to do engineering, but parents made their mind up that you want to go down the medicine route
Mm.
or down the law route, and sometimes that rebelled. I was quite fortunate in our family where, yeah, education was important as long as, but as long as whatever you wanted to study or do, the sport was there.
Mm.
So, so I was quite, quite fortunate with that. Whereas some of my friends, what they had to go through, where what they wanted to study in terms of their skills and what they've got and what they want to do, to what they've been told or what they have to do. So it used to be a lot of parent dominated education for you. But it was good. But then I thought, no, I'm gonna, I've done my college now. I'm just gonna carry on, I'm working.
Mm. Hmm. So, what was your first job that you did?
My first job was double glazing. That's where all of my sales started. And in those days, got myself a part-time job was when I was at college in 1992. So when I started, and it's for a company called Stay Bright Windows. A lot of you probably heard of
Mm.
Stay Bright Windows in those days, 90s. And it was my job. Basically, me and my friend, we went in. We were just passing by the branch, Staybrook branch in Erdington. And on the window, it said, apply within. So we thought, well, we're studying. We want to go out, at weekends. We need some, good money in pocket. And we thought, right, it's a glass company. We're going to there's a probably factory behind the branch.
Mm.
And we're going to be making some, windows or cutting some glass. That's what we had. But when we went in, there's a receptionist there who says, yeah, there's a job just says that in apply within. We just come to inquire. Our sales manager came downstairs, took us upstairs, and he told us about the job. And he says, okay, the job starts at 4 o'clock, and it finishes at 8 o'clock in the evening, Monday to Friday, and then Saturdays is from 10 till 2. So I looked at my friend and I thought, right, only 4 hours. I thought that's all right. That's not clashing, with our college. So therefore, yeah, we'll do that. He says, all right, when you come tomorrow, bring in your shirt, trousers, shoes, and a tie. So if you're coming from college, have it, and then you can get changed there. So that's when I inquired. I says, "Oh right, okay. What do you mean, chef?" Because I thought we were cut glass. He says, "No, no, 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 no. That is separate. This is, sales branch, and you're going to be knocking doors." I says, "What do you mean knocking doors?" He says, "Well, we're going to take you out. You go to a patch. There's a few other canvases that you go out with, and you knock doors and you make appointments for people to, who want to quote on their, offer." Right, okay. He says, "But don't worry, come tomorrow and we'll go through everything with you." So I came the next day and I thought, right. And throughout that night, when I went back on my phone, knocking doors, and you get all of these, thing come to you. What about people slamming doors? They don't want to speak to me. Which areas am I going to go? And all these were, coming the confidence, and I'm getting all these goosebumps. But when I went in the next day, and I met the other canvassers, and then we went out, and then I never looked back after that. And that's where my journey started. And I did 12 years before I moved on to other sales. So I
Right.
enjoyed every a moment of that, and
Mm.
that's where I learned all my knowledge and got better with people that was around me. And so I had a good schooling.
Brilliant. So, when did you decide to go self-employed? Was that fairly right
Self-employed,
away?
self-employed started fairly late into my career. Um, Self-employed, I went around 2015. So it's the last 5 years where I've been self-employed.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas from the year 1992 all the way to 2015, it's just been employee all the way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And is it the same self-employment that you're doing now that you did in the beginning, or have you changed?
No, it was changed. I mean, when I became self-employed, I was working purely for myself um, in the sales. But I set up my own energy broking company, and that was working with commercial businesses on business to business, where go in and look at their uh, annual consumption on their energy, on their gas and electric,
Mm.
and to get them a cheaper and good deals where we can save them and get them. I had access to open market, energy market, where you're coming towards the end of your renewal to get you in a better deal. And if I can save you money, get you good, negotiate you good rates with energy companies. You
Mm.
might tell me there's certain companies that you don't want to deal with, but the ones that you want to deal with is find out, okay, get your contract, get all of that in place for you. So that's what I set up, and that's where I came in as a self-employed. But it was a hard decision for me because all my being as an employee, and suddenly I'm now shifting towards a self-employed. But looking back over the last 5 years, I think I've probably made a great decision I've made.
Yeah. Yeah. And what do you put your success down to? Is it luck, hard work, or something else?
um, I say there's no such thing as luck because you make your own luck, you create your own luck. Again, coming from personal development sales world of 28 years, that's what's drummed in. But it all comes down to hard work. It all comes down to dedication. It all comes down to determination, positiveness. But it also comes down to the right people that you're around with as well. Makes a huge difference, and it impacts on the results quite highly as well.
Mm. And how important would you say is joining the FSB for people in business?
I mean, joining the FSB is very, very important. That's purely because FSB, um, FSB, is a lobbying organization, and it's a non-profitable sport organization that supports the self-employed, small, medium, and small, medium enterprise business up to 249 employees. They have a very strong voice when it comes to lobbying at the government level, and they have, currently they have over 170,000 members, and these members are made from different types of sectors, such as you got sales, construction, engineering, account, so law, all types of industries make up those members. So it's the members led by the members. So it's actually an organization run by the members for the members. And once you join, what gives you, it gives you clarity, gives you peace of mind, knowing that if something was to happen, especially now, like we are living in the unprecedented, challenging times, and there's things that which we can't do ourselves. But being accredited by an organization has that strong voice. It takes all of that challenge away from you, so you concentrate with your business while they lobby on your behalf. And while you join, then there's around 16, benefits that you are entitled to. But the beauty with the membership is that it's not just for that business, it's personal. So if you wanted to set up another business, because we come across some very successful um, business entrepreneurs that have, excuse me, a couple of, or two, three, four businesses. So one membership can cover all of that for you as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what's the benefit? What benefits do the members get
I mean,
for
the,
belonging to the FSB
the
compared
benefits that they
to
get,
other
the benefits
organisations?
the benefit that they get is huge. One, benefit is, which is a very huge benefit, is a tax protection. Okay, so if HMRC, was to come onto you and says, right, okay, we looked at your accounts, we feel that you're not paying as much tax as you're supposed to, and that gives you, the benefit of that cover. It covers you up to 100,000 per claim. So all of that covers. We go to the accountants. of your accountant and take all what we need to take. So everything of that cost of it, it's all involved through FSB, not from yourself or anything like that. So that's a huge one. Another one is employment protection. Now, as an organization, if you employing, a staff, now employees are very good asset to any company. Employees are very, very important, but they also can be a headache as well. So especially now in the present times where we're living in, you've got furlough scheme, you've got redundancies, and when employers dismiss their staff, and sometimes employees are more well equipped, more updated when it comes to unfair dismissal, and they feel that they've been dismissed on a wrong decision made by the employers. They decide, right, okay, we're going to take them to, tribunal. So as employment protection, it gives you a clarity that you're protected. Again, a claim up to 100,000 per claim, up to 100,000 pounds per claim. So if that should happen, and all of that is paid by the FSB. All the work is done by the FSB. So those are, and then on top of that, you get 24-hour legal help, legal service. So whatever legislations that happens, and you feel that's going to affect my business or my thing, straight away you can get in touch with the FSB. They're there 24/7. And then on top of that, you get free business banking. But most importantly, the time that we're living in now, it's all about networking. So as a FSB member, you have access to all of their virtual network that used to happen face to face, all virtually across the UK, and there are around 160 a month events that takes place up and down the country, where as a member you got access to go and network again to build your clientele.
Mm-hmm. So you said the banking. I was reading today that HSBC is going to be charging for people having accounts and having money in the account, whether they're in credit or not.
Yeah.
Can you see that happening with the FSB bank?
With the FSB, we have an account with Birmingham Co-op. Again, it's a business account, which is free. So even when you join the FSB and then you decide I want a free business banking through Birmingham Co-op, what they do is throughout the duration with them, they pay you £25 every year as a loyalty bonus back for being, and they don't charge anything. The only charges that apply to there is that if you were dealing with cash, and not many organizations, deal with cash these days, unless you're from hospitality, restaurants and cafes and bars. So if you were to put, cash money up to £2,000, it's free. And then anything above 2,000, so if it was 2,100, then they charge 75p per 100. But apart from that, whether you got money in the account or not in the account, there's no charges or anything for bank transfers or people money coming in and going out through other ways.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's a huge a plus for a lot of business. Again, especially when we come across startup businesses looking up, to start. They join the FSB, but they need an account. A lot of the banks they go to, it's like 7 days, 14 days before they need an account straight away. But through the FSB, through the Birmingham Co-op, it's we say 14 days, but it's done within 2 to 3 days. The bank is open for you.
Mm-hmm. And for anybody that wants to join the FSB, is it expensive to join?
No, it's not. I mean, again, it's based on number of employees. If it's just yourself and you don't employ anybody, then it's £147 a year as a membership. Okay, and again, the covers are talked about like employment protection, talked about tax protection, and those cover up to £100,000. So for that 147, you're getting that cover as well. So it's also you don't pay anything extra. So it's 147 when you join, and there's one-off registration fee that you pay of £30 when you join. So it's 177 in your first year, and it's 147 in the year after. But if you've got employees, then it's based on the number of employees as well. So if, for instance, you had anything from 1 to up to 4 employees, then that is £239 per year.
Yeah, and is the FSB international or is it just in the UK?
FSB is national, so it's a UK in coverage. So we got, you know, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So it covers the but the beauty with one of the benefits with that is that, okay, it's not an international organization, it's for the UK cloud organization. But if you've got clients that you deal with overseas, and again, when they do the service, it's all about, okay, you know, whether you charge them on a 30-day or 60-day invoice. A lot of you know, companies don't pay you for the services. So one of the, you know, benefits that you got debt recovery service as a benefit when you join the FSB, and that covers. So if you've got, you know, money owed to you from overseas, we can you know, trace that money and accumulate it back for you.
It's interesting. So if you had to live your life again, would you change anything?
The only thing I probably would change is go back to university and finish off my degree, because even throughout the career I did well in sales. That's, you know, made up of B2C and B2B in you know, private and corporate. But there was a time when I looked back and I thought, you know what, I could have got, you know, a degree, because there's certain roles when I applied for, everything's like has had vast experience. So they looked at that as fantastically, you know, you tick all the boxes. But then they looked at, right, okay, you haven't got a degree, so therefore, you know, it stops at that level. And that's when I recalled back up 20 years ago, you know, and recalled what my father says, that, you know, all right, you have all the skills you need, but it is important, because you don't know, somewhere down the line, you probably feel that that was important. And I thought, you know what, should have took my words. But again, you learn from the hindsight, don't you?
That's it. That's it. Are there any questions that you'd like to ask Nigel, Mandy?
I have one. You said that you'd like to go back to university, and it's never too late. Why don't you go ahead and go for your dream?
Because of, you know, with the family that I've got, you know, I've got 3 young children and works busy as well. I mean, you know, I've thought about it. It has came to my mind, you know, a few times, and I probably will. But at the moment, I'm not. But I probably will do like an open university course, or, you know, something like that. Something that I probably will do, just to give me that, you know what, you know, I've achieved that as well. And yeah, you know, finally, because one thing I have learned in education, especially when I was working in selling in the education sector, is that you're never old for education. So it doesn't matter the age gap, but, you know, if you're going to do it, you do it. So you're learning from the, you know, from cradle all the way to, you know, to your die. You know, you're always learning, and it's all you know, education. So Mandy, looking at that, I have, you know, a thought about it. Something that I am going to do, but not for a foreseeable future.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Have you got any questions, Nigel?
No, he's been quite thorough, to be fair.
Okay, well, thank you for joining me for afternoon tea, Zafran. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Karen. It's always a pleasure, you know, to come on and, you know, meet, collaborate, and yeah, just talk about something that I've done, you know, and share experience. And yeah, quite enjoyable afternoon, Karen.
So, did you say it was £147 for the year?
Yeah, it's £147 a year, but when you join, there's one-off registration fee of £30, and then it's £147 every year. But when you join, you don't pay straight away. It's, you know, we set up a direct debit, and it takes 10 days. So either 14th or the 28th of the month, it goes at one payment, and then it's every 12 months.
Oh, no, okay. Sorted.